This is our group project on
how technology affects our society. I've grown up with always having technology around. When I was younger, technology was just developing, but I've been able to see it grow and develop. I think everyday life has been most drastically affected by the technology of social media. Social media has positively allowed us to connect with many people around the world. Sites such as Twitter keep us updated on news around the world. Sites such as Facebook allow us to keep in touch with friends even if they are far away. This affects our everyday life negatively, though. People have become attached to their smartphones, constantly checking social media sites, sometimes up to 15 times per day. There are even things such as social media anxiety disorder, or SMAD. People become anxious if a site goes down or if they are unable to check their social media. Technology affects our everyday life in more ways than just social media.
65 years ago, I crawled out from underneath the feather comforter. I turned off my mechanical alarm clock. I went downstairs, I put wood in the heater stove, I put wood in the cook stove, and I started the fires. I then put water on the top of the cook stove to heat, and then I got ready for school. Today, I got up out of bed and shut off my CD clock radio. I jumped in a hot and cold running water shower. I threw something into the microwave and cooked it for breakfast. I got into my Jaguar and I came to school. There are places you can go on this globe where they're living in the same technologist society as they always were. But here in the Western Hemisphere, we're in an affluent society that is pervaded by technology. We have power plants, we have gasoline lines, we have air conditioning, we have all kinds of technology, including computers like I'm being recorded on right now. We had lived a very good life. However, there are some drawbacks to having all this technology. Back in 1996, there was a power outage down the west coast that started in Portland and extended clear down into the mid-California area. In 2003, there was a power outage that started right here in Ohio, and that put the East Coast out of business for a day. And New York City was one of the places that was blacked out totally. There was no movement in that city.
Technology has become such a big part of everyday life that it affects pretty much everything we do. Technology shortens a lot of our everyday tasks, such as research for homework. You can easily just look anything up on the internet and find the answer in the matter of seconds. Today, the internet is accessible everywhere, on phones, tablets, and computers. This shortens the amount of research time needed for homework.
Technology is so integrated with our lives to the point where we interact with other facets of our lives the same way we would interact with technology. Imagine if your phone and/or laptop spontaneously disappeared. What would the consequences of this be? What would you have lost? What would you use to listen to music? What would you use to communicate with others? For example, the TiVo effect. Normally when using a TiVo, you have the option to rewind your current show in case you didn't catch what was said properly. And since quite a few people spend a considerable amount of time watching TV, as a result, we started to subconsciously tell ourselves to rewind conversations in real life. Also, Googling is now a household term in action. Don't know how to fix a washing machine? Google it. Want to know how many miles it is to the moon? Google it. Want to know how many calories there are in a Big Mac? Google it. Thanks to search engines, people now have access to nearly limitless amounts of information. But the same technology can be used to find information about ourselves. Nowadays, whether unknown technology is affecting us or not is a legitimate cause for concern. Are we being watched? How much does someone else know about me?
Technology has changed in the workplace tremendously.
It helps keep everything more organized and keeps everything flowing. It makes things faster and better. Technology is a huge advancement for the workplace, especially for a doctor's office. Whenever they want to look up papers, they can just do it on the internet or in their folders on their desktop instead of going through papers and files. The only thing that hinders the workplace is when connections are down, when the internet's down. It might complicate locating everything or even researching something, or even simply taking orders at a fast food restaurant.
Hi there, let's talk about technology and its place in the government. No, we're not talking about things like Big Brother, but more how technology has saturated everything. Voting booths are now electronic. The president uses Reddit to reach people. There's a PTSD coach. It's mobile software that is the most downloaded federal application. The government uses firewalls and planes, which, if that's not technology, I don't know what is. Like in the workplace, the government relies on memos and emails, and all of that leaves a trace. If you go back a few months, you might remember the name General David Petraeus. He got in a lot of trouble because of a lot of the emails that he left behind. He had an affair, and that caused a lot of issues for him. Even now, emails are technology. If the government needs to get a hold of something, then they will, and technology comes to their aid. Everywhere you look, technology has made society better or worse, and it's up to you to decide.
As others meet people on Facebook, they become connected and start new relationships. Oftentimes, people can reveal more behind a keyboard, therefore, their selves are exposed, opening the door to learning and accepting new people, cultures, and diversity.
We use the internet to educate ourselves and other traditions or cultures. We can learn about different cultures like religions, job applications, famous people in those countries, government, languages that they speak, the weather, climate, the big cities, population, how they commute with other countries, attractions, what technology they use, laws, rules, norms that go along with their traditions, if they use social media, the money or currency they use, best travel location, schools that they have. So pretty much we use the internet to educate ourselves about other traditions and cultures.
So social media has allowed us to see more diversity in other cultures. Particularly Twitter has been able to be used as a way of helping us understand other countries and some of the current events going on. During the Iranian election crisis in 2009, the government did not allow any sort of media to get out, but the citizens of Iran were able to tweet things, and that's how the U.S. was getting their sources of news, through all these tweets. In addition to that, there's also, during the earthquake in Haiti, there were all the funds that were supported were through a Twitter, it was a text message campaign actually, not through Twitter, and they raised $10 million in support for Haiti relief. And in addition to that, the world was kind of kept up to date with Twitter picture updates. People were sending out pictures, and that's kind of how all the news spread around, and people were able to raise all that money.
Okay. We are about to state our opinions on the result of the technological changes in our society.
I worry about where technology is taking us. What if our robots get to be smarter than we are? But I'm not willing to go back 65 years.
See this laptop? This is my life. This is precious.
Technology provides us with the potential to improve ourselves and our lives constantly. However, we must always be able to control it and accept its ramifications.
In my opinion, I think technology is great, although I think sometimes people are too attached to it. As far as like smartphones go, I think people are they're too connected to everybody else. There needs to be time where people can just be on their own. But other than that, I mean, I think technology is great, and obviously cell phones are great. I mean, without cell phones, I couldn't have a ringtone like this.
Hey, you got a phone call! All right! Isn't that exciting?
Oh yeah, we love technology!
Ba-dum-dum-dum.